right, good evening, everybody.
Oh.
Pleasure to see you. We have a packed house, which we're happy about. The time is now 7:30, and this is the November 17th, 2022 work session of the Allendale Mayor and Council. Welcome to everyone who's joining us in the audience. There's no, our internet is down, so there is no Zoom webinar, so it's just us, which makes it nice. At this time, we ask everyone to please mute your devices so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There'll be one opportunity during this meeting, the work session, for public comment, and we will advise you at the appropriate time. Linda, please read the Open Public Meeting Act announcement.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the November 1st, 2022 Sunshine Notice was sent to the record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website.
Great. Linda, please conduct the roll call.
Councilwoman Homan?
Here.
Councilwoman Lovasolo?
Here.
Councilman O'Connell?
Here.
Councilman O'Toole?
Here.
Councilman Sasso?
Here.
Councilwoman Wilzinski?
Here.
Mayor Bernstein?
Here. And so now for the first part of the meeting, which for me is going to be the highlight. Listen, no aspersions cast, the best practices inventory.
That's close second.
It's coming in second in my book. But what's first is we are honoring the Allendale Senior Housing Corp. We're honoring the group, we're honoring the members, we're honoring what they've done for close to 30 years? 30 years. Since 1994? So, yeah. Right. I've been on the group for 6 years. I guess 4 is the mayor, and Mayor Liz White appointed me as one of the borough reps. So I had the honor for 6 years. As we were discussing the group in the last couple of meetings, we realized that there's a history there that far predates me, and it goes way back. So the current members: Chris Grimal, who's the president; Shirley Chamberlain, who she's not here yet. She may be on her way. Dan Manning, here. Susan Barkoses, here. Erica Lewinberg, who is not here. Liz Holman was the council rep that I appointed. She's here on the phone. What I wanted to do, Chris, when I asked you, you said Dan was more senior than you. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
Bad memory,
It's
man.
been so
So-
long.
We're both getting older, so.
So if you could, the members come on up. I'm not gonna embarrass you, but we are going to honor you. So yeah, come on up and share with us. So great to see you. Share with us.
Favorite moments.
Yeah. So how long have you been on?
Probably about 25 years.
Oh my
25
gosh.
years.
So you're the long term.
Right. So when were you? Who appointed you, and when did you come on?
Bob Patterson.
Oh, yay, Bob.
Yeah. Right. And who were the members with you?
What's her name?
Dave Burgess.
Right. Yeah.
Those are some old names.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Dan, when did you come on?
I think when Vince first became mayor, that was how many years ago?
Right. Yeah. So I'm 4 years. Liz White, who just walked in, was 4 years, and then he was 8 years. So that would have been 16 years ago. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
About the same time.
Maybe I'm old, but maybe it's 14.
Right. So
Yeah, Dave caught
Dave brought you in. Right.
me. He suckered me in.
And you still have records back from?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the basement, so
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
dig them out.
So, to the three of you, to the whole, as we know, and as we discussed, Allendale Senior Housing, which runs the senior property at Seaback Court, that we're going to be transferring your interest to AHI, which is, it's not a complicated transaction, but there are two parts, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. The borough owns the land, and Allendale Senior Housing owns the building. Right, and that's being transferred to AHI. And we felt that there was a synergy to bring them all together under one. Right. So we voted at the last meeting, right, that we would take whatever actions were necessary to effectuate the transfer. Right. Okay. So unless anyone has anything that they would like to add, I'm going to read a proclamation to the corporation, and then I have commendations for each of you. Okay? Proclamation in honor of Allendale Senior Housing Corporation. Whereas, since 1994, the Allendale Senior Housing Corporation has overseen the senior housing at Seaback Court. And whereas on June 5th, 1997, Allendale celebrated the completion of its first affordable housing for senior citizens at Seaback Court, named in honor of John Seaback, a longtime resident of Allendale. And whereas senior housing serves an important public purpose and is required to be maintained as part of Allendale's affordable housing plan. And whereas for 28 years, members of the Allendale Senior Housing Corporation Board have ensured that those who wish to make Allendale home in their golden years have a safe and affordable place to live. Now therefore I, Mayor Ari Bernstein, on behalf of the governing body and residents of the borough of Allendale, hereby acknowledge with gratitude the hard work and dedicated service that each and every member who served on the Allendale Senior Housing Corporation Board gave to the borough of Allendale. And with that, thank you. Liz, do you want to say something? Come on up.
Hi, I think Amy's gonna read just something for me. I feel almost awkward through the phone, but thank you.
Mayor Barra, who couldn't be here tonight. We just wanted to thank you. We both were,
I think she
you were so dedicated, so amazing.
To Liz White
so many
speaking.
people that needed housing that got it because of you. And these were people in our community, these were our neighbors. It was great housing, it was affordable housing, and it's not easy to get up at every meeting and go and do what you guys did. And we're just so grateful and thank this council for recognizing you, and really thank you for trusting us to continue the legacy that you built. So we're very grateful, and hopefully we won't hang up the phone when we call and go, huh? So thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Yes, I heard, thank you.
Did Liz want to say something? Did you want to speak also when you're done?
I think Amy's gonna read something for me if you don't mind. It's too hard with the microphone.
Take one step back. There you go. That's perfect.
Stay here.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And I have. Right, that's right. So Shirley, I don't know if yeah? Okay.
Yeah, so she asked the question, like, is that a famous place? That's not a place. That was like really little bread with your meat.
Yeah, that did not look like a tasty sandwich.
Oh, it was. No, come on.
I would have been like, our egg sandwich is tasty.
Thank you. Thanks, Ken. I have one.
Just on that music thing.
Any day now.
Congrats.
I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris.
Hi, Mark.
Congratulations. That's wonderful. Congratulations. You're done with this?
Why do we do it now?
Oh,
So before you leave, Liz Homan just wanted me to say she was super sorry that she could not be here today, and she really wants to thank you all for your years of service, for not only the time that you spent on the senior board, but also all the other volunteer things that you do, as you all do in our community. So thank you from Liz Homan. She's not feeling well today. And she's home.
You're welcome.
So, and thanks all from all of us. Have a good night.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. Gee, I would hate to have to follow that on the agenda. Hi, Lisa.
sorry.
Listen, you lost your audience.
Best practices inventory checklist.
I know you guys have been waiting all year for
Yeah.
this. And I hope I don't disappoint.
We're leaving with them.
Best practices inventory. That's required every year by the state, and its purpose is to assess each municipality's compliance with various laws and evaluate implementation of fiscal and operational best practices. This year's inventory had 56 questions in total. 43 were scored, and 11 of them were new. Then they have the unscored that they started a couple of years ago, just to gather information from everybody. A score of 24 and greater assures full payment of the aid. We answered yes to 31, 8 not applied, and 4 no. The 4 no's were ongoing cybersecurity training, which we kind of do, but not to the extent, they want something like every month or whatever. Electrical vehicle charging stations and ongoing detailed cash flow analysis and municipal ordinance and code of ethics. That we go by the state, we don't have our own thing. So we'll be getting all of our aid, the full portion. And as always, I'm happy to report that there are really no areas that need to be addressed, as we are very compliant with the standard best practices.
Yeah,
That's
yes. Yay.
That's great.
Wow.
No, that's wonderful.
Thanks.
We are compliant.
All right,
Great, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thanks, Lisa.
Public comment. This is the first of 3 opportunities tonight for the public present to comment. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come to the microphone at the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the governing body. Not seeing anyone. Administration agenda review. The regular session agenda consists of approval of the minutes of September 8th and September 22nd, work and regular session minutes. Second reading and public hearing on ordinance 22-14, introduction of ordinance 22-15, and 9 resolutions on the consent agenda. Did anyone have any questions, anything that they wanted to discuss? Not seeing anything. Okay, we do have some time. We can do committee reports, council reports. Councilman O'Connell.
Thank you, Mayor. The auction of borough vehicles, equipment closed yesterday, and Ron's guessing we made about $52,000. Fall sports season has come to an end, so we're working on winterizing the facilities, and the holiday decorations are being installed downtown. I would like to say congratulations to Mayor-elect Wazinski, Councilman O'Toole, and Council-elect Yacarino, and Councilman Kistner, I think. And I hope everyone has a great holiday.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ed. Councilman Sasso.
Thank you.
Yep.
So Parks and Rec and Facilities is moving along smoothly as it usually does. That's good. So I went to, unfortunately, what is going to be my last New Jersey League of Municipalities convention yesterday with a lot of people up here. It was really productive. It was whirlwind 18 hours. But it was great to walk the floor, spent a lot of time, saw a lot of cool things. We had some good quality time together as a group to discuss the current things, future things. And I'm getting myself ready for when very soon I will be out there being even a bigger pain in the ass for mayor position.
Oh, excellent.
Can't wait.
So that's all I have to say.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Go get ready.
I guess we'll do Liz when we get down there. So Amy, Council
Sure.
President Wazinski.
So the borough is still navigating through our legal documents for 220. I was hoping to have some stuff on the agenda for this evening, but unfortunately it's going to be pushed to December. As soon as we get these last couple documents in, we will be able to close on that front building. As you know, this has been years and years and years in the making. We did sell the back building for 10.2 to fill out, to pay down some of our debt. That is operational right now. And we are working on the plans. They are pretty much 100% done for the bidding process. We will be going out to bid according to the New Jersey local contracts law. We actually ran into the architects for Hampshire at the New Jersey League of Municipalities, and we told them we wanted a couple tweaks here and there on the building in the back. They were thrilled to hear that. But no, honestly, it's going to be beautiful. We're hoping the timing's going to work out when Hampshire does it, but we fully expect the demo to still happen by the end of this year and then just them to start the building. As Steve mentioned, we did have a wonderful time in Atlantic City. There's always some great speakers to listen to. You always pick up some really good information, and we certainly did this year was no exception. Walk the floors and have a lot of great ideas to help improve the borough and make our operations smoother. The downtown streetscape is coming along. We have, unfortunately, our contractor had to have a subcontractor, so there's always a little bit with delays with these kind of things when you have to go out to bid. The lights are on back order, but hopefully they will be in, and it will be gorgeous when it is done. The wreaths look so pretty on our new lamppost. It just looks really, really, really nice. So it's going to be spectacular when we have our new garbage cans and the light is all fixed and new landscaping, etc. What else? We worked with met with the Allendale Circle of Support again. They are going to be assisting and working in conjunction with the borough to get out our senior goodie bags. So it's a great group, and we plan on making, I think our list is up to 150 seniors happy this year. We started, I think, with 50, and now we're up to 150. So the program was really successful, and the seniors love getting a little treat in December. And congrats to my running mates, Mr. Councilman O'Toole and Tyler, who unfortunately is also under the weather. And congrats to our Director of Operations, Ron Kistner, who's also a councilman and wears many hats in his municipality of Hasbrook Heights. And that's it for me.
Great, thank you. Councilman O'Toole?
Thank you, sir. The Public Safety Committee has not had a formal meeting since our last meeting, but work is, as always, ongoing. The police department is working with schools on improving security. Our 2 new recruits are working their way through the process, enabling them to begin the academy in January. At the League of Municipalities, Chief Dillon and I attended a few sessions pertinent to public safety, including one on the future of volunteer fire and EMS in this time when volunteerism is down. One on what dispatch services might look like in the future. One about cybersecurity and ransomware, Lisa, given by the FBI. One about radio communication systems for first responders, which Chief Dillon probably could have presented, but he gamely stood by while I tried to learn something. So, congratulations to Tyler, Ron, and Amy. Looking forward to another few years up here with you guys. So, thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Councilwoman Lovasolo?
Yes, the tree committee, I'm calling us a tree committee now. The land use committee met on Monday morning. And the reason I'm calling this a tree committee is because a lot of the issues we've been dealing with lately have been kind of hovering around homeowners wanting to take down an excessive amount of trees before construction. And so it's kind of made us reevaluate, I think it's chapter 244 of our code, which centers around trees, and probably tightening some things up there. Trying to figure out the best way that we can allow people to do the work that needs to be done, but not lose all these, huge mature trees. And as usual, we spoke about some certain individual property maintenance issues and continue to work on those. And I thank Ron and Mike and Anthony for continuing, and Mike Limatola for continuing to address all of these concerns on behalf of our residents. And congrats to Ron and to Matt and to Amy and to Tyler. It's a great team, and I look forward to working with you guys even more.
Great, thank you. I'm going to go now, and then we'll do Councilwoman Holman. And I want to kind of dovetail onto what you were talking about, land use. Looking back on some of the things that I had done the last couple of weeks, one was that we had our land use board meeting on Monday. Mm-hmm. And I want to commend the land use board. I think they did a great job. The applications are not easy. If the members are there, they've listened, they pay attention, questions are insightful. They missed the first meeting, they went back, they listened to the tapes to be able to participate. So hats off and many thanks to Kevin Quinn, our chair, Mike Sirico, the vice chair, and all of the members. Chris Botta was not there. Natalie Angeli, his partner, stepped in and she did a wonderful job. So I want to thank the board for their continued service for Allendale. Thanksgiving's coming up, so that'll be good. Next Thursday. The following Friday is the Jingle and Mingle?
Second.
The second. Yeah, the following Friday. Thereafter, after Thanksgiving weekend. 3 to 5 at the AB&G. And then we're having a visitor from the North Pole.
Yeah, he contacted me, he's definitely coming.
And that's later on. That's a tree lighting and 6 o'clock.
So he's gonna go to fire truck, he's coming to fire truck, I think.
Okay, good.
For the holiday walk.
Yeah, for the holiday walk, right. So it'll be a great day in Allendale. And that's it for me, for my report. Councilwoman Holman, are you there?
Sure, yeah.
Can you give your report now?
I certainly can. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So, hi, everybody. Sorry I can't be there, but I have been under the weather, and it just made good sense for me to be at home. But water. Always love to talk about water. There has been some noise on social media, my understanding, I'm not on, about third quarter water bills. And I just wanted to make sure I shared with the council as well as the public that we have not had a rate increase since January of 2021. So if individuals' costs are up, it is due to increased water consumption. Unlike, some things where the more you use, the less expensive it gets, water actually works the other way, that when the more water you start to use as you go above certain thresholds, and it's on the bill, those additional gallons actually are more expensive. So I do encourage residents to actually look at their water bills, and to, on the front page of the water bill, there's not only the amount due, which would be that quarter. Our most recent one ended in September. But there's also a bar chart that shows the actual volume of usage, and it will give the current quarter in dark blue, and then it goes back and actually gives the past quarters, including the same quarter last year. So I know some individuals were comparing their Q1 or Q2 to what the summertime was as their third quarter bill, and that really wouldn't be comparing the same apples to apples, because the water utilization in the summer is so much higher in general in Allendale. Just to give a perspective, that Q3, so our summer months, was double what we used in Q2, and actually 3 times as much as Allendale used back in Q1. So I don't know if people know in millions of gallons how much water that might be, but it's a lot. That in the summer months from June 24th to September 22nd, Allendale actually utilized 185.7 million gallons of water. So that was utilizing over 2 million gallons of water per day, which is a lot of water. And this is driven, by regular water summer demands. And this summer was, even more dry. And, the sprinklers, the irrigation systems, the evaporation of water from the pools and things like that definitely drives those utilization numbers very high. So I certainly encourage if people have questions to contact me by email, lizholman@allendalenj.gov. And let's see, an update on the transaction with Veolia, and Ray may give a little bit more color, but obviously there's a tremendous amount of work that continues to go on as we move towards a closing date of November the 30th. And thank you to Ron and Ray and Mike Vreeland and the entire, Ari, Suzanne, Alyssa, the entire team for their continued attention to this huge transaction. But there will still be paperwork, even, if we are able to close on November 30th, there will still be paperwork that will have to be completed after the closing. And that's because the acquiring of easements primarily for a system that dates back to, 1913 is a really big job. So we also have other paperwork with other various agencies. And so there are things that still need to be completed, but it will be excellent to be able to have that closing. And the plan would be for the transaction to close with Veolia wiring to the borough about $14.5 million. And this would be placed into financial vehicles, which I am not educated enough to explain, to pay all of Allendale's debt as soon as that debt would be callable. So Lissa will be working with our team to make sure that that's put into place. The remaining amount of the funds will be put in escrow until the completion of the outstanding paperwork are resolved, which makes perfect sense and will continue in the months that follow. Then as far as the treatment for PFAS, which, we've talked a lot about during the time, how important it is that we have a company like Veolia that can begin to put in temporary treatments and help us ensure that we have water that is in regulation moving forward. And thus far, Allendale has not had to send out any PFAS violation notices. We are advised that Veolia is currently in conversation with NJ about well 11's most recent results, and we will await further information from Veolia. The well is currently not in service. Veolia has been aggressively pursuing temporary treatment to be installed at New Street, as we discussed during the public meetings. And we hope that the NJDEP approvals will come through shortly. Veolia will be putting in that permanent treatment at New Street to treat. They will then be looking to put in permanent treatment at New Street to treat not only the 3 wells on New Street, but also to bring the water down from well 11 for treatment. So this will be a win for Allendale residents and certainly necessary for the continuation of quality water to be available in Allendale. So if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
7:59, so we will wrap up there. I would request a motion to adjourn the work session.
So moved.
Thanks, Matt. Second? Thank you, Ed. All in favor?
Bye.
Great. In a minute, we're going to start the regular session.
Why is my word not working? It's because there's no internet this morning, but this afternoon. No, it's wrong. Melissa Bird. Melissa, but she wasn't there. That was the lawyer. Yeah.
Just help yourself to my
saw the buzz on my.
L-I.
Is that the invitation?
ANGEL.
Remember that you said you didn't get?
I.
Oh, come on.
Personal private.
Yeah,
I do arrest.
whatever. Yeah, that was her name.
Oh,
Thank
Natalia,
you.
You could be a
N-A-T.
lamb and
A-L-I-E.
Send this
Or
down.
N-A-T-A.
Thank you, I got it.
work for it.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, boy.
All right, the time is now 8 o'clock. This is November 17th, 2022, regular session of the Allendale NJ Council. Welcome to everyone who is joining us tonight in person. The Wi-Fi is down, so there are no people joining us via Zoom. At this time, I ask the public present to please mute your devices so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There will be 2 opportunities during this meeting to speak, and we will advise you of the appropriate times. Linda, please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the November 1st, 2022 Sunshine Notice was sent to the Record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website.
Great. If you can all please rise and join us in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Linda, please conduct the roll call.
Councilwoman Homan?
Here.
Councilwoman Lovasolo?
Oh, here.
Councilman O'Connell?
Here.
Councilman O'Toole?
Here.
Councilman Sasso?
Here.
Councilwoman Wozinski?
Here.
Mayor Bernstein?
Here, thank you. Public comment on agenda items only. So if there's anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on an item that is on the agenda, now is the time. Seeing no one. Approval of minutes. We're gonna do them separately, and I can tell you who needs to abstain. So first is approval of the minutes, September 8th, work and regular session. Councilwoman Homan, Councilman O'Connell, and Councilman O'Toole should abstain. So I would request a motion to approve the minutes of September 8th, 2022, work session and regular session.
So moved.
Thank you, Amy. Second?
Second.
Who's that?
Suzanne.
Suzanne? Thank you, Suzanne. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan?
Abstain.
Councilwoman Lovasolo?
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell?
Abstain.
Councilman O'Toole?
Abstain.
Councilman Sasso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Next is approval of the minutes of September 22nd, work session and regular session. And Councilwoman Lovasolo and Councilman O'Toole should abstain. So I would request a motion to approve the minutes of September 22nd, 2022, work session and regular session.
So moved.
Thank you, Ed. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Amy. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo?
Abstain.
Councilman O'Connell?
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole?
Abstain.
Councilman Sasso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski?
Yes.
Great. Next on the agenda is second reading and public hearing for ordinance 22-14. Linda, please read the title of ordinance 22-14.
The following ordinance published herewith was first read by title only on October 27th, 2022, and posted on the bulletin board of the lobby of the municipal building and borough website. Ordinance 22-14. An ordinance to amend, supplement, and revise the Code of the Borough of Allendale, Land Use Procedures, Chapter 40.
Great. I open the floor for public comment on ordinance 22-14. Not seeing anyone, I would request a council member to make a motion to move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 22-14. Notice of same shall be published according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Suzanne first, Amy Wazinski, Council President Wazinski second. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is introduction of ordinance 22-15. I would request a council member to make a motion to introduce and pass on first reading ordinance 22-15 and set the hearing for December 1st, 2022 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter in the council chambers at the Allendale Municipal Building. Thank you, Amy. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Steve. Linda, please read the title of the ordinance and then conduct a roll call.
Ordinance 22-15, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 128-8 of the Code of the Borough of Allendale entitled Additional Required Inspections and Fees. Roll call. Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is the consent agenda for 22-240 through 22-248. I would request a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Matt. Second?
Second, O'Connell.
Thank you, Ed. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next, any unfinished business? Any new business? No, we will continue with our committee reports, etc. Staff reports, Borough Attorney Renwis.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few thoughts in listening to the council committee reports. We tend to focus on what's on the plate at the moment, and particularly as it applies to the water utility sale and 220-230. But I think sometimes we lose track of the fact that these are really generational projects for any municipality. In fact, the type of projects that really are typically not seen in a small municipality. So while I know that my office and the committees and Ron and Chief Dillon and everyone's been involved, and we have 2 phone conferences a day or Zoom meetings. We have 20 emails exchanging. It probably is still important as both of these reach closure to reflect on how we got there, and perhaps Mayor White sitting there also reminds me about this stroll down memory lane. But it shouldn't be lost that on 220-230. That project started, even though now we're talking about the municipal facility and recreational and senior facilities for the community. That project started as a very aggressive and proactive approach by the borough to avoid the prospect of perhaps 300 units being developed on that site. So we may be down now to building design and dotting I's and crossing T's and worrying about where money may come from and all those good things. Again, I think it bears thinking about the fact that we could have been dealing with a very, very different development on that site had the borough not initiated what it did. Likewise, and Councilman Homan referenced some of this in her report, on the sale of the water utility, at a point in time where many municipalities, and particularly small ones that have their own system, are facing inordinate costs for PFAS and other treatment, the borough is not only going to be able to solve and eliminate all of its debt, and probably Alyssa's smiling back there, but at the same time avoid potentially exorbitant costs in PFAS facility treatment, and also to address a rather old water system. So I think in both of those cases, while we're getting very, very close, and probably November 30th in one case, early December in the other case, to reaching closure, a little reflection down memory lane is probably very, very appropriate. I know that several of the council members also mentioned being down at the League. And apart from the good seminars that a lot of us got to attend, there's also a great value in the meet and greet aspect, where you're meeting with other elected officials or other borough attorneys or other professionals who are serving their municipalities. And I think that those exchanges also have a really a tangible value, even though they seem a lot less formal. So I think, all of those things that were mentioned in reports, apart from in the moment, there's a greater aspect that I think we can all take a lot of pride in terms of where we are. And other than that, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Thanks,
for
Ray.
your perspective and your guidance and your help through all of it. Linda?
Yes, thank you, Ray.
Yeah. Woo-hoo.
Linda, anything to report?
General elections went well. I want to thank, Bryn. I want to thank John Gill, Amanda Richards, Linda McLaughlin, and Carrie Neosi for their assistance in the clerk's office on that day. Everything ran smoothly. I want to congratulate Matt, Tyler, Amy, and Ron.
Great.
And
Thank you very
congrats
much.
to
Thank
you.
you.
That was your first election that year.
Yeah.
That was the first general election,
General
all by
election.
myself.
All by
Well
yourself.
done.
So
Thank
you did a
you.
Great
Well
job.
Yeah, great job. Thank you. John, anything to report? Director of Communications?
Sure, I was great working with Linda on her first general election alone. It was fantastic, everything ran smoothly. Attended the League of Municipalities, took some seminars on social media best practices. Thankfully, we do a lot of the stuff already, but there were some good insights and some pointers that definitely be talking and bringing it together with the council. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Lisa, anything to report?
Well, for the third year in a row, we had no tax sale, so that's a good news.
Yeah, that is. Thank you. Ron?
All quiet. All good.
The delivery was perfect. Chief Dillon?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm closing out the yearly budget, working on continual IT and facility issues with Director Kistner and various contractors. Working with Councilman O'Toole, researching the possibility of bringing an electric vehicle to the police department fleet. And planning for 2023, budget, operations, etc.
Great. Thank you very much. Public comment? Open the floor to the public on any matter? Anyone?
Beat you to it.
Liz White, 26 East Crescent Avenue in Allendale. And I just want to piggyback on what Ray said. You know, when I stepped out of office the day of March 17, 2016, I
Sounds like a
remember,
holiday, by the way.
Huh?
March 17th sounds like a holiday.
well, it was. That night anyway. But thinking at that time that would be a 1 year done and deal, and it's taken so much to get it over the finish line. So I congratulate all of you on that. But I also wanted to thank the police and fire department, who you may or may not know have been at my house a number of times. And I see Chief Baez in the back. We may get him a room in my house soon, but as I often said when I was on the other side of the table, they never see you at their best when they come to your house. And I'm so grateful to them. So I just wanted to publicly thank them. So thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. That's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mark, you had your hand raised. You want to come on up? Certainly.
Mark Savastano, 22 Freedom Place. Congratulations, Mayor-elect.
Thank you.
And the re-election of Matt.
Thank you, Mark.
And Mr. Yacarino was not here. Congratulations to him. I'd be remiss, Mayor, if I didn't thank you. I enjoyed working with you when you were mayor. The several meetings we had outside of this building, and your agreement to reinstate the green team is near to my heart, so thank you for that. On that note, I had spoken with Suzanne earlier in the week about the possibility that I had mentioned earlier. I wanted to ask the borough attorney, Mr. Wiss, about the conclusion, if that is a possibility.
Suzanne, I think as we discussed, some of the dynamic has changed since then.
Yes.
So we did not see that there would be any, I think you were talking about a January date, if I recall right?
Yes, January
Yeah, I didn't think there should be no impediment to moving forward with that date.
Okay, so just to make sure the understanding is correct, it would be sponsored by the Green Team, is what I proposed to Suzanne, and not by the Bergen Hub. We won't be using a machine because it doesn't look like we'll have that in time anyway. What I would propose doing is having a truck available. I would pay for that out of my own funds, and just transport the material immediately after it's collected to Haskell. And there would simply be a collection, loading it into the vehicle and removing it. And that's,
Good.
that's
And,
fine.
Ron, you know, we may want to just check with our risk manager to just make sure that actually Mark has additional coverage through us because it's a quasi-municipal function.
I'll reach out to Brian tomorrow or let you know.
Okay. And Ron, I did have a conversation with our Bergen Hub about the conversation we had about Mr. Tedesco. I mentioned in the meeting about the plans to possibly purchase this machine and have it be under the auspices of the county instead of what was originally proposed by the county to have it, transferred to a municipality. And Ron was very helpful in giving me some advice on how to approach that. So thank you for that.
Great.
And I guess that's it.
Great, thank you, Mark.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Where would the stuff be going from? To be collected here, where will it go?
Anyone else from the public wish to be heard?
Yes.
You look like you weren't sure.
I like your necklace.
Walter Whitmer, 38 Hamilton.
I don't know.
I want to refresh you. Last year, Allendale had the Christmas tree at Van Zorn Park. And I requested that be decorated so that it would appropriately signify Allendale as #1 in the town, in the county. Just want to bring that up to that point. And there's another, just an information question. I've noticed in town, and I talked to Ron about this, and he's answered my question beautifully, but I've noticed recently, they dug up a number of places in town and repaired the patch. I don't know who did it, but I think they deliberately created a hole so that they would disrupt traffic or possibly slow it down. It's horrible how those guys patched those areas that have been dug up. My question is there some way the town can request of them I don't know, some method of supervising the method by which they do that? It's atrocious. I mean, there's so many places in our lovely town that when you drive down the street, and my wife drives me nuts with this. I mean, you go over them, if you go over them at any speed, you knock the teeth out of your mouth.
Mayor, may I? So, Walter, so there is, I believe, in our ordinance, in our street opening ordinance, I think it is, that a contractor has standards which they must use to close that hole again. The thing is, those excavations need to sit there, it's a temporary patch, really. I mean, you can drive over it for years, but it's technically temporary because it takes 6 months at least for it to settle before they do their final paving using an infrared method, which is pretty cool. It's like this truck, and then it has like an arm and a flat thing, which is just huge heat lamp that comes down within inches of the asphalt, heats it at incredible temperatures, and it's a pretty nice clean patch, or it's as good as it's going to get. So I think what you're experiencing is the 6 months, and maybe they forget a couple months while they're waiting to settle. If you see one that's lasting longer than that, you can bring it to the attention of the construction code office. I think that would be Mr. Hackett's area, or our engineer, to go back to the contractor and say, hey, you forgot a couple.
I know a number of them that they forgot.
Yeah, maybe send an email through the construction code office, I think would
Ron,
be good.
thank you for that, that's insightful, and that's good information. Ron, anything you wanna add to that?
Just give me a list of specific locations, because various pothole patches will be different. It could be public service, it could be Orange and Rockwood, it could be a private contractor. As Steve said, it is they come back, but I would need specific locations to see who we're talking about.
Right.
Does someone supervise that, an individual, or what's it up to?
Well, yeah, I mean, also, but generically, it depends who's doing the work.
I know there's one in Hamilton, that it's atrocious.
I think the borough engineer would supervise any street opening permit.
Walter, thank you, as always. Anyone else from the public wish to be heard? Not seeing anyone, I would request a motion to adjourn the regular session.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt? I forgot to thank the Allendale Police Department for the assistance in the elections, for driving myself and the election material down to Hackensack. So thank you.
Well worth being noted, no, absolutely. Thank you, as always.
I'm sorry, one thing, did we mention the GIF seminar yesterday? I don't think.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, we did. So we, Chief Dillon, myself,
We all did.
Mayor-elect Wilzinski, Councilman O'Toole, Councilwoman Lovasolo,
I don't get money for it.
oh, you don't get it. Okay. Anyway, the Joint Insurance Fund, GIF, held a seminar. It's an insurance seminar in a packed room, and the borough got a $250 credit, right?
No, each
Per
one. Each
person.
one is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, each one is.
$250 credit for each one of us.
That attends
So
it.
$1,250, and let me tell you something, if you've never been to an insurance seminar in a packed room in Atlantic City, that money was earned. Believe me.
And I know you guys were there. Somehow I was on that text.
So you're welcome.
I was on that text chain, but we had it here.
Well, I'm gonna do another one. Yeah, Brian will bring it here.
Yeah, I mean, Ron was good enough to bring in the pizza, and we had the seminar here. I
And the air
forget-
conditioning.
Yeah,
Seems
yeah,
loud.
Tyler was here, Matt was here, I forget who else was here.
I was here.
I took a phone call at one point. What happened to the woman that got hit by the snowplow?
Oh, gosh, that's my story.
Yeah, that was some story.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk later. We'll take that offline.
Anyone?
Not Allendale.
All right.
No, no,
Make
it
that
was
clear for the
Florida.
record,
I'm going
please.
to request a motion to adjourn the regular session.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, everyone.